I have used the iPhone 16 Pro, I have used the iPhone 17 Pro, but if you ask me which is the most premium iPhone, I'd say the iPhone 14 Pro. It was an amazing device when it first came out in 2022. But now, 4 years later, is the iPhone 14 Pro in 2026 still worth it? Let's find out. There's something about the iPhone 14 Pro that new iPhones just don't replicate. That stainless steel frame. Cold, dense, heavy, solid. The newer 16 and 17 Pro models with a titanium or aluminum frame are lighter and more practical, yes. But the 14 Pro feels like premium jewelry. It feels expensive. As opposed to the matte finish of the new iPhones, the 14 Pro has a shiny finish. Yes, it's a fingerprint magnet, but in terms of design, the 14 Pro still wins for me. Besides the stainless steel frame, the 14 Pro also has the OG ring and silent switch instead of the customizable action button, which honestly is much more simpler and satisfying. However, a major compromise on the iPhone 14 Pro is the Lightning port instead of the highly compatible Type-C port. It also misses out on the camera control, but since it's almost a useless or less used feature, it's not really a compromise. Apart from this, the iPhone 14 Pro is IP68 rated just like the latest 16 or 17 Pro, so you don't have to worry about getting it wet. On the front, it's got a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR display. It's a smooth 120Hz ProMotion screen. It's got the always-on display, it has a dynamic island, and it's bright enough to easily use outdoors with 2000 nits of peak brightness. The display is really good. It produces sharp visuals with vibrant colors that are easily visible from every angle, and the display is protected by ceramic glass. Side by side with the latest iPhones, you won't notice much difference. But the most important factor when buying a 3-generation-old device is the performance, and the iPhone 14 Pro has got it covered. It's powered by the A16 Bionic chip with a 6-core CPU, a 5-core GPU, and a 16-core neural engine. The chip is based on a 4nm architecture, and in 2026, it's still pretty capable. On paper, the newer iPhones are always gonna be more powerful, more snappy, and more efficient. But in real-world day-to-day usage, the difference in performance is not that big. The iPhone 14 Pro is still running solid. It glides through everyday tasks, and if you're an avid gamer, it can run graphic-intensive heavy games like PUBG or Call of Duty without any lagging or frame drops. But since it only has 6GB of RAM, it doesn't support any Apple Intelligence features, as that requires at least 8GB of RAM. But since Apple Intelligence sucks as of now, it's not a big compromise. But if you do want AI features, then it may be a deal breaker for you. Now, let's talk about the cameras. It's got a triple camera setup on the back. A 48MP main, a 12MP ultra-wide, and a 12MP telephoto camera along with a LiDAR sensor. On paper, it may look inferior to the newer iPhones, but let me tell you, it captures some really amazing photos and videos that are on par with the newer Pro iPhones. Don't believe me? Watch this dedicated camera comparison of the iPhone 14 Pro and the 16 Pro. Now, let's talk about one area where age actually matters: battery. When the iPhone 14 Pro was new, the battery life was solid, a full day easily. But in 2026, it completely depends on the unit you're buying. Battery health becomes very important. Anything below 85% should be a matter of concern. Either skip it or consider the battery replacement cost along with the price of the phone. Efficiency-wise, the newer iPhones with the later chips are simply better optimized. They run cooler and squeeze out more screen on time. Charging-wise, the iPhone 14 Pro still uses the Lightning port, and let's be honest, in 2026 it feels outdated. Everything around us is Type-C. Laptops, earbuds, power banks, SSDs. So carrying a separate Lightning cable feels inconvenient. That said, charging speeds are almost the same. It still supports fast charging and MagSafe, so you're not losing speed, you're just losing convenience. But if you can live with the Lightning port, then it's perfectly manageable. In 2026, you obviously won't find it brand new. But in the refurbished market, the prices are very attractive. You're still getting a flagship level display, premium build, strong performance, and excellent cameras. But here's my honest advice. If you're getting it at 1/3 of the price of the 17 Pro or half the price of the 16 Pro, then it's a fantastic value. But if the price gap between the 14 Pro and a 15 Pro or 16 Pro isn't big, stretch your budget. Because you're not just paying for the performance, you're paying for the better battery efficiency, USB-C, longer software support, and future AI updates. The 14 Pro is worth it, but only at the right price. If you want a number, then it's around $350 or 45,000 Indian rupees. So the iPhone 14 Pro in 2026 is not outdated. It's just the last generation of iPhone before the AI shift began. And in some ways that makes it special. So, would you get an iPhone 14 Pro in 2026 or would you go for a newer Pro model? Comment down below. This is Prakhar and I'll see you in the next one.